What's up, everybody? I know. Getting my morning hijinks out the way. It's been a while. I guess I need to really start my mornings off with a bang. So, how's everybody doing out there? Let me know who's in the building. I know. You two being a bunch of bitches. Once again, I'll say this. Here's the hypocrisy of this site. The real hypocrisy. People who say abort black male babies will literally, and I do mean literally, get all the praise, all the hubbub, but yours truly who gives a very honest opinion about things that I will talk about soon. They'll try to shadow ban me. What's up, Milla? What's up, Nema? Gabrielle or Gabriel? Now, I know that I might get lost in my words and my thoughts, but I will definitely say this. Hmm. I know I might be late thanks to these bastards. Number one, we're going to talk about the little Montgomery battle. We're going to talk about the so called Queen Maker. Oh, God. I'm going to tell you this one about the Battle of Montgomery that I haven't already said on everybody else's panels and shows. I don't see nothing wrong. Sorry. Sorry. 60, 70 years ago, they would have been okay with that man being killed. They would have been okay with that man being killed. Shout out to Aquaman coming to the rescue and all those other guys. You had the white shorts Blair. I mean, the entire Hood Justice League and the down the hill, Avengers. That was beautiful, man. A lot of people forgot the philosophy of the more you fuck around, the more you find out. And I think we should hold to those truths. I think that we should actually utilize this time to actually develop some staying power and unity. It goes back to breaking some myths that one, black people can't swim. Two, black men don't stick together. I think we need more unifying resorts and actions where we can actually galvanize black men I'm back. So can you hear me? So I think it was very important to show solidarity in that moment because one thing you know about black culture and black people, it's very rare that we're going to disrespect our elders and have somebody disrespect them in front of us. We're a little we're a little pissy about that. A little pissy. I think that whoever was involved in that, we should not be afraid to pay the legal fees for those who were involved. Anybody who condones the behavior, I have one thing to say to you. What would you have done? And people will say, well, aren't you a police officer? Aren't you this? Aren't you for the law enforcement? Aren't you? Sure. But guess what? Sometimes action has to be taken. And the only way evil can persist is when good men do absolutely nothing. Okay? When good men do absolutely nothing, that's when you get the greatest amount of evil. You're right. You're supposed to be on code. Yes, I understand the cheer might have been a little excessive, even though it was funny as shit because it brought me back to my 90s love of pro wrestling. Ah, but you can understand why he felt such a way. That angers people. Why? They were on code when the guy told them they couldn't dock their boat. So why shouldn't we be on code? I don't see anything wrong with it. It's called just desserts. That's all I call it. Just desserts. Even though I swear to God, those were some of the funniest memes I've made on Facebook and Instagram. I love it. I love it. I think we should not use this as a simple I think this is a simple crackhead thugs were really trying to kill. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they really were. I'm gonna say this, and there are times I'm gonna be opposite of what some people think, and I'm okay with that because I'm a man. Men should always have their own. Even if you're wrong, explain why. One, this was 70 years ago. What's up, Snowman? If this was 70 years ago, that guy would have been ended up lynched in somebody's forest or drowned underneath those boats. And somebody's government would have just looked the other way. All right. In my heart of hearts and my mind of minds and my soul of souls, you're supposed to defend those who can't defend themselves. If there's three things I can point out that every law enforcement officer and every law abiding citizen should do, is to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve mankind. And the Montgomery brawl, battle, whatever you want to refer to it as, was a perfect representation of that. They came to the service of that guy who couldn't defend himself properly. They right a wrong that was wrong, and they fought against injustice. I have no problems with that. So for people who condemn the actions of those folks, and shout out to Aquaman, my man swam over there to whoop some ass. I hope he, if anybody knows the identity of Aquaman, please give him my email and tell him we need him at BlurCon because I'm pretty sure people are going to want to take pictures with him. Pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure people are going to want to take pictures. I think it'll be a great chance, that we give kudos to guys who do the right thing. And I would really, if somebody knows how to get in contact with that young bruh, I would love to put him in contact of the CEO of BlurCon and let's see what we could do. I'm pretty sure they'll give him a room and they'll let him give a speech of what he thought was going through his mind. I think we need to not only salute our black fictional heroes, we need to salute our real life black heroes as well. And what that young man did was nothing less than heroic. And I'm going to be the first person to openly say that. What he did was some heroics, just like the one guy who came there first with the white shorts were heroic. Because, we got to give credit to the young people. We can't shit on them all the time, but we got to give them credit that young 16-year-old young man, you know, he came over there and saw, his compatriot, in trouble, and he did what he had to do. One dude tried to fight him, and he gave him the rock bottom, and the other dude tried to fight him, and he gave him the Rumshambo 15 combo special. But anybody in that area who knows his identity, please give him my email address, and let's see if we can come up with. And by the way, I would love to interview him too as well. Definitely love to interview him. Well, we all know one thing. I bet you that's the last time they put a fucking hand on somebody. Last time. The more you fuck around, the more you find out. Now, we're going to get on one of the segments that really pains me to talk about this dizzy bitch. Is Priscilla, the so-called queen maker. Or as I like to call her, the man hater. 3000. Priscilla reminds me of those people who constantly, and I mean constantly, put herself in the predicament of thinking that she's doing something righteous for women when all she's trying to do, Delco said, Uncle Earl with the chair made a huge splash. He knew what he wanted to do to his fellow brother. For his fellow brother. Oh man. Let me put it to you this way about Priscilla. She's a representation of what I like to call the full bird colonel of the bitter bitch brigade. You blame everybody for your shit. You put yourself in certain positions and situations that you should have never been in for the last how many years? You dated the wrong types of guys. You've been around the wrong character of people, but it's men's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault, right? Always Jermaine's fault. You can't take responsibility. Shout out to LAPD SWAT. Unfortunately, I don't have super chats anymore, so go figure. That ain't gonna stop one show. Hey, shout out to my man Anubis. Woo! Blessing the boy with the 50 spot, man. We got to get salute my boy with the 50 spot, man. We got to give him all three of these motherfuckers for a 50 spot. God damn. Y'all showing your brother love, man.
By the power of Grayskull.
These words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond. Plus.
Thank you again, Anubis. Yeah. Speaking of this Queen Maker, I'm not going to play the video because I think it was played to death, and God knows we all need reprieve for hearing her screechy ass voice. We need to really take in consideration, just like in corporate security management, there's many of incidents in life that you can never prevent. Believe it or not, there are many incidents in life you cannot prevent. That's why in corporate security management, they teach you in the techniques of mitigation. And see, there are bad things that happen in your boy Falk's life, but I had to mitigate. And that's the one thing that I don't think people take in consideration is the mitigation of it. I don't think people understand mitigation. She certainly does not. Okay, let's say the first guy you dated was a terrible guy. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But what about the next? What about other people you hung around? Did you hang around people that wanted to see you well, or did you hang around people that wanted to drag you down into hell? That's the recipe that I think that is missing to this dish. You want to shit upon black men, and I say, okay, there are some things black men don't will haven't done correctly. Cool, we are cool with that. But can you tell me what black women didn't do so well? And I think that is where the failure in communication lies. You want to use all your mystifying words. You want to utilize all your catchphrases. You wanted to use a lot of your stuff. You wanted to utilize all your little books from simps, your video clips. But yet, you can never talk about that number one issue that you have is that you are the sum total of all your problems. The common denominator of the issue is you. No, these black men, they not good. They wouldn't be able to survive. Okay. So what if they don't or do? What caused you pain is totally on you. I just got finished talking to the Padawan that from 0 to 17, you can blame your parents. But from 18 going forward, it's all on you. You can choose whether or not you're going to be successful or not. Nobody says it's going to be easy. Yes, life is sometimes going to be consistently kicking you in the motherfucking ass. But eventually, you're going to either have to learn to fight, you're going to have to learn to persevere, and you're going to have to learn to endure. But so many times, we want to blame blame others for our mistakes. Life's never supposed to be easy. Life is totally what you make of it. Some people talk about, well, Charles, you're saying the world is so racist. Yes, it is. Racist as hell. Motherfuckers ain't shit. Never will be shit. But that doesn't mean I don't work forward. There are times I know that you're going to do certain type of jobs or work or occupations, and some days you're not going to feel like doing it, but you have to do your job. What's the difference? What is the absolute difference in who you pick to be around? See, I get tired of people telling half truths. I get tired of people talking a whole bunch of flack and shit, but yet you cannot state that you are the reason why you're suffering in your life. Don't misconstrue it. I understand you try to make a few dollars and make some money, but tell the truth and shame the devil, lady. You're the biggest hypocrite. You remind me of so many women that would pass by good men, but because of the experiences you had with the type of men that you pursued, you could have said no. You could have said, "You're not mine. You're too bad for me. You're gonna fuck up my life." But what did you do? You openly embraced them. Sometimes I think in our community, for our women, it's a Herculean them to even find what a real man is. I really do think so. I really do think that. I really think that the most difficult, the most strenuous, the most hellacious task that you can give a woman in the modern era is to find a man that's worth some shit. And this woman has proven my theory without a shadow of a doubt. You can't come out there and say, hey, the officer of the goddamn law is hating on women. No. The officer actually noticed something about modern women. And Priscilla has given us carte blanche. She's given us validation. When, and I mean only when, have you ever seen women like this? First and foremost, say, I fucked up. It was my fault. Regardless of what that person has done in my life, I've given them the bridge. I've given them the permission. I handed them control to fuck my life up. When I knew good and goddamn well I should have never been around that person in the first place. That should have been the primary statement out of her damn mouth. Primary. But it's a lot of money to blame Jermaine and Tyrone. The right name, if there was money in the truth, people would be speaking it more often. But we live in a culture where lie to me, I'm not fat, I'm thick. I'm a good mom. I take care of my kids, even though my kids are not with me. I want you to figure this out and salute to, Concrete Rose and us, Sister George, for stomaching that woman for so long because God knows I probably would have had a 30-minute time limit. And for those of you, hey Kareem, how you feeling, girl? And for those of you who want to see the video, I want you to listen very carefully to what she says and how many times she contradicts herself. Because after a while, it stops being entertaining and it's more like this bitch needs help. Like, who is she making a queen? You're trying to say that it's natural for women to be gay and bisexual? Well, that's the PayPal right there. The PayPal is Charles Faulkner 994. Right up in the ticker. But I really want you to think about this. I had a female who I was speaking to, nothing serious, just spoke to her on Facebook dating. And I told her that, sometimes I'll do live streams or podcasts. And she's like, oh, what do you talk about? Black relationships, comics, politics, whatever that comes to mind. Anything goes. And she was like, really? You talk about black relationships? I said, sure. What do you think is the problem with the black woman? This is what she said. When she asked me the question, what do you think is the problem with the black woman? I answered it. I said, the problem is you don't understand your men. You don't understand what attracts them. You don't understand what they need from you, what they desire, how much they crave respect. It's only one-sided affection, one-sided enjoyment. So I want you to think about that. I want you to really think about this shit. I want you to really think about this. They hate patriarchy, but yet they take all the benefits from it. They hate men that are in control or financially stable, but they'll complain about the guys they got to take care of, but they're not going to say anything because, one, shout out to my girl, Kareem. Shout out to the girl, Kareem, for the $20 holla on the PayPal tip.
By the power of Grayskull. I have the power.
LAPD SWAT 1 said patriarchy equals stability, forward thinking. Matriarchy equals chaos, Stone Age level hunting gathering societies. Yeah. See, I'm going to break this down to people like Priscilla. When you think men are doing things just so they can be in control, you think men, for all these centuries, will go to these dangerous jobs just so they can say, I want to put that bitch under my foot. No. Men willingly put themselves in dangerous predicaments for pay just to put food on a table, just to pay the mortgage on time, pay the car note, send the kids to school. Maybe just maybe if they save up some money, they can go on vacation. Actually look at each other for once instead of looking at each other for passing ships. I think that's the one thing people don't take in consideration, that so many men were building skyscrapers. I want you to think about this. You're putting your ass out there on the line. You're working in the blazing heat, the freezing cold. The last thing on your mind is saying, how much can I get a bitch under my rule? See, what we fail to understand about men is that men will show you that they love you rather than tell you that they love you. Acts of service, acts of kindness, acts of bravery. Even the Bible said there's no greater love than a man lays down his life for his friends. But that would take actual study and research of the type of men that you have. Instead of complaining, did you go for the upper echelon of men? No. 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 No, you did not. And see, what really showed her insanity is when Sister George asked her, was there any, and I do mean any men that she knew that did well or treated her well? And she said no. And I believe that is very impossible. I know that it's impossible. See, Jewish is matriarchal, but guess who's leading that family forward? They're the men. And the reason why they look at the mom's line, because, during the Roman occupation of the Jews, they were getting, unfortunately, sexually assaulted. And besides, back then, you didn't have birth control tests. I want you to show, I want to show this for you, right? Oh, yeah, man. Shit. Happy birthday to the Macho Man, a Long Goose Savage. Give him a happy birthday, man. Everybody in the chat, give him a happy birthday. 50, man. That's a milestone for brothers these days, man. Shit, that's good stuff. Gynocracy is a woman led. Men have no. Men are just not even human beings. They're just things that can either soothe the sexual beast or they're just a resource in a gynocracy. I'm glad you said that, Shane Vicious, that the gynocratic rule is something different than a matriarchy because the men still lead the Jewish community. It's just the moms are going to push the sons forward. In our culture, we're ass backwards where the girls are pushed towards education. I'm going to read some stats for Priscilla since she thinks fathers and men are not needed. Y'all ready for these stats? And don't forget to give Alongo a happy birthday. Happy birthday, man. Happy 50th, man. Hopefully you celebrate it and somebody's throwing you a big party, man. Put the bottles and cups of liquor in the air for my man Alongo Savage. This is called Dad's Count. 64% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes, 5 times the national average. 70% of youth in state operated institutions come from fatherless homes, 6 times the national average. 71 of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes, 7 times the national average. 75% of all adolescent patients in substance abuse rehabs come from fatherless homes, 10 times the average. 80% of rapists motivated by displaced anger come from fatherless homes, 11 times the average. 85% of all children who show behavioral disorders come from fatherless homes, 15 times the average. 85% of all youths in prison come from fatherless homes, 15 times the average. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes, 24 times the average. And it states dads are more important than just a paycheck to a child. They represent safety, protection, guidance, friendship, and someone to look up towards. So for the detractors who think that fathers are not needed, because in our community, that's pretty much the belief. That's the culture. Family is just mother and child. Well, put it to you this way: the Jews in America are matriarchal through the bloodline, and they have very pushy moms. The moms are on those boys' asses because they know that boy has to be better. That boy has to lead a family. So it's a combination. It's a combination. So you can have matriarchies where men still lead. They're patriarchal in the fact that the men are going to be the better halves, and it's not because they are quote unquote enslaving the women. It's because this is how they're raised. They have to be better. I want you to think about that. Priscilla may not listen to my small little channel. It used to be much bigger audience. But I'm going to tell you this one. Who you pick as a father says a lot of the future of your child. I want you to think about that. But we got to go back to my first statement about the Montgomery Brawl. Did men lead? Did men protect? Did men stay on code and help out? The one thing about the Montgomery Brawl, you kill a lot of stereotypes in that one incident. One, black people can swim if we're taught. We can work together, and we're going to be on code. I want you to think about this, right? Give me a better solution. If intact homes with a father is not what you want, give me a better solution. Because lesbianism is the most violent recorded relationships you'll ever have. Yeah, yours do, but you talk about Ashkenazi. And Americans, the American Jews do a little bit different. They're a little bit different. I want to put this in your memory banks for a second. I just read out the statistics of fatherless homes. Do you want a continuation of failure, or do you really want to put something your best foot forward? I mean, I beg of you. I beg of anybody for this. Tell me something better, Priscilla. What queens are you making? Because I don't even think you're making queens. I think that misery certainly loves company. What women did you uplift and say, hey, this is the best possible, this is the best possible man you could get? How many of you saying that? How many? Hmm. Shane Vicious, Mr. Shane Vicious at drag queens. I do agree that a lot of Jewish American women are feminists. They'll talk that shit in the open, but guess what they do when they're home? They're the most daintiest motherfuckers you'll ever see, cooking for their husbands and everything, bringing them in slippers. LAPD SWAT said the military model slash men are the officers leading, planning, writing out the op orders. Women are the NCOs, run the day to day platoon level operations. Man, couldn't say it better myself. Could not say it better myself. I think what happens, and it's going to go into this next thing, is that I had a question a couple of days ago, probably about a week, where it was a high school classmate of mine on Instagram Live who asked the question, Why do dudes fuck anything? And you know what I responded to her was, is that black men are the garbage men of the dating world. It's cultural, but at the same time, if black men had standards, a lot of you sisters would never meet them. They were like, "Wow, I don't mess with ugly dudes." I beg to differ because I want to see what type of dudes these chicks mess with. You claim y'all were married for 10, 15 years apiece. I want to know, what are the better options? If we screw everything, isn't that cultural? Don't you prefer that because it gives you a higher chance for that man to be around you, especially when you start acting a damn fool? What happens? What happens when that man sees himself a bit better, presents himself a bit better? You're gonna say that man's bougie. That man's full of himself. You don't want that man to actually have some guts, some style, some guile and profile. And the answer usually come upon no. The answer is usually no. Because if black men start saying, wait a minute, you can't be out of shape, you got to be in a gym at least 3 times a week, you got to be pleasant to be around, you can't be a curmudgeon. If you're going to have kids and deal with a man, you're going to have what? All your kids by one man? If not, did you marry one of those men? Do you have more bodies than Arlington National Cemetery? And I told her, I kept bringing up different examples. I said, so if a man keeps bringing this up, y'all not going to like it when he has a standard. Are you in shape? Are you nice? Do you have something intelligent you can bring to the table? That's why. We may be the garbage men of the dating world, but guess what? You're the sorceresses of what? Not having a culture. I mean, what's so hard about that? If you're upset that they'll fuck anything, bring them a better standard. Let them have a standard. You meet the standard. It's no different in the military. It's either go or no go. And I have to say this and shout out to Kev on. Hey, shout out to Mr. Williams. I have to say this to Kev. You know, black man being brutally honest. Shout out to him. One of the habitual line steppers. When he posted a picture of Megan Good, who's 42. And I heard a bunch of guys in the comments saying, well, she's lost good, she's this, she's that. I said, come on, bros. I said, come on. Let's be fucking serious. How many of you could obtain Megan Good at 42? Even at 42, Megan Good is 90% better looking than most women you'll even dream of. She'll probably even bring you to a point where, what? Where's the money? I think a lot of guys need to really start to be in the realm of reality. Let's look at it this way. And you're right, Charles. That's a lot of fucking cap. A lot of these same dudes who said she's lost goods would be the same simping ass dudes who'll be giving all their time, money, effort, and resources for chicks who are half as good looking as her. These are the same niggas that told BGS Defco was fine. We gotta stop capping. Yeah, these are the same niggas who will tell me shorty thick, and you'll have an obviously fat girl with back fat. You said no way. These are you got niggas out there who said stuff goes at 8. I was like, damn, I hate to live where you live if stuff goes at 8. God damn. Here's the crazy part. If she wanted kids right now, she's still actually healthy enough to have them. Yeah. Sublime. Yeah, you got niggas up here cap. See, the thing about it is, if I got to get on the women's asses about being realistic and honest, you know damn sure I'm going to be realistic on the brothers' asses about being realistic or honest. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. I've said it before and I say it again. The average man has not seen an 8, 9, or 10 in person. Average man has not. That's why when they say this delusional shit, it just sounds funny to me. Oh yeah, we need this chick who can no, no, no. You cannot tell me. He said Stefco. They said Stefco is a 7. Those brothers need to see an optometrist. You goddamn right. Yeah, you got guys at ask BGS next time he comes live, man. I swear to everything that I am and all the ancestors and the creator above. There are a lot of guys who in his chat when he was posting about, you know, doing a play by play of what Stefco saying. You know, when he makes these play by plays of Stefco, you should see how guys be like, yeah, I'd do it for Stefco. But you know what? But hey, if you got somebody, number one, let's keep it real, and I'm gonna keep it real funky to a lot of fellas. Number one, if you want kids, let's say they take the eggs out of Megan and pop it in a surrogate. Either that or she naturally has it. Because one, you're getting great genetics if that's 40. Not a lot of women look that good at 42. Megan will be in a gym. If you look on her Instagram page, she stays in a fucking gym. You know what's funny, Shane? Shout out to my man's from ESI. And he's from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. But he said the Philly niggas will fuck anything. Sherrod was right. He said Philly niggas will fuck everything. And you know it's funny? That's cool. I mean, hey, I buy eggs off of her. Buy a couple of eggs off of Big Good. The chairman is back. Yeah. Chairman of the board. Bang, bang, bang. I mean, there's the man. Ask BGS. How many dudes thought Stefco was a 7 or 8? Oh yeah, Philly niggas will fuck anything. What's up? Speaking of the man, speaking of the one of the habitual line steppers, I mean, we gotta call the cap. There's the man. I'm gonna put a link in there for those who want to come up. Hopefully, BGS and Kev, Big Kev, come up here. And I because I had an issue with that post because a lot of Negroes trying to say some bullshit about and Kev know when he put up that post of Megan Good, how many of them brothers were capping hard? I mean, they look like fitted caps. They were capping hard. Old school cap guns. I just want to know. Hey, what's Black Man Bruder Giannis? Come up here too. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Charles, man? Thanks for having me up. Hey, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, a little staticky, but
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm outside, man. I'm on break from lunch here, so hold on. Let me adjust this here.
I had to go through the recap of a lot of stuff that I missed because of my weekly suspension. They said I was a bad boy.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, man.
Oh, by the way, folks, Big Ted is doing some road work right now. That's why you can't win. You're too big to get on a treadmill right now. He's got to do that road work. He's going up and down steps like he needs to. Work the knees, work the knees.
Exactly right. Work the knees, man. Yep. So, yeah. What's up, y'all? What's up? But yeah, man.
I'm good.
Yeah, Charles, man.
No, can't you get to yo? Hold on a second, Ted.
Yeah.
Can you get to somewhere where there's not a lot of wind because the wind is
Yeah, I got you. Hold on.
A lot of wind.
Yeah, like noise cancellation headphones could be useful, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to the brother.
Yeah. But I'm just like,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
how
that
you
was
been, by the way, Charles?
Dylan. And that was cap on cap on cap, Kev. I mean, shit. Man, those brothers were capping hard as shit, man.
Oh, by the way, Charles.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. By the way, just to first of all, we got to give props to one. This is the field master himself, Ron Wells. Because he said shout out to all the Pookies and Ray Rays that are messing with the busted up Brenda, so the rest of us can get to to the fine ones. So with that being said, to all the Philly niggas out there, thank you for your sacrifice because you guys are the defensive linemen who opened up the hole for us linebackers to come in and rush the QBs and the running backs and get that shortage or recover the ball for a fumble. You know what I'm saying? So everything works out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because if you didn't, God bless their sacrifices, man. God bless their sacrifices. Those are honorable. But you're gonna tell me that niggas are gonna
they're the unsung heroes, man. That's what the defensive linemen are. The unsung heroes, like the offensive linemen.
They really are. You gonna tell me that these niggas gonna tell me that no, I wouldn't mess with no Megan Good. Get the fuck out of here.
Me? I would say I wouldn't mess with her because she just doesn't do it for me. And that's not wrong on my part. She's attractive, yes. But if there was some kind of a situation, some type of arrangement I have with her, perhaps. Genuinely, she's not my cup of tea.
Hey.
That doesn't make it wrong, but if I said I wouldn't mess with her because for such reasons and they're genuine, can't hold that against me.
If she's just a fun girl, hey, play ball. But a lot of those niggas, I knew they were capping hard. And I mean hard.
You're saying it wrong, man, because Cole Sports, he was saying like they were capping hard. Shout out to Snowman in the morning in Cole Sports.
But it goes back into this delusion where a lot of people are not being honest about their situations. And I'm like, look, every woman got some gynocentric in her. She's a black woman in America. They got a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But, it's just like marriage and a relationship. Are you going to deal with the shit you could take? Because guess what? I've seen a lot of brothers get shitted upon by sisters who don't look half as good. At least if you're going to try to shit on me, at least look good doing it. God dang.
I mean, what was it? I remember a certain mixer I went to this.
I mean, don't look like Macho Peachy action posts trying to shit on me. Speaking of Macho Peachy, what you jumping up here for, boy? Don't look at me. But go ahead, neighbor. Hey, neighbor, you were saying something?
Charles?
Yep. No, I was waiting for you.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I heard something just pop up or something.
All right. Well, go
Yeah,
ahead. Say
second.
what you were saying.
What was I gonna say? Oh right. You understand? I remember there was a certain Nick House said that he said it best. In life, you got mountains and bridges. Because yes, what's the difference between a mountain and a bridge? Most people say, simple. A mountain you climb, a bridge you cross, right? No, that's not the point. The point is, what are you willing to put up just to get you where you need to be? Sometimes you got to cross a bridge. Sometimes you got to climb a mountain. And in certain situations, people rather climb the bridge, rather cross the bridge and climb the mountain, and vice versa. So basically, if you're gonna be with a certain woman and she's gonna, give you hell, you got to decide how much of that you're willing to put up with before you just take the fucking hell, or just don't mess with her if you know what she's about. Because it's like what was the DJ said about everybody wants to have a 10, wants to have a dime until you realize being with a dime is like having a Bugatti or a Ferrari or whatever or a Bentley in the hood. It's nice to drive, but when you got to park that thing, you got to look. You got to be sleeping with your head hanging out the window, make sure nobody's trying to steal that shit or trying to boost it or tear it apart, take it apart or something like that when lights go down.
Yeah.
Better make sure it's in the garage when you go home, when it's time to go home. You don't want nobody keying it up.
You better. Because brothers will steal your shit. I mean, hey.
Yeah, you remember Bill Bellamy had that one joke on Def Comedy Jam, one where it's like, it's it was the car be calling him while he's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Hey man. Yo, what you doing, man? You need a car? Yo, it's 3 in the morning. Why you calling me? They just told me, man. They just took out the stereo. They took out the car. Oh shit, they're coming back.
Mm.
You gotta love Def Comedy Jam back in the day. But like, when you step out of the car, you pull over to the girl's house, and you have to look at your car one last time before you go in, because you're in a shady neighborhood. It's like,
Well, you already know
how do you look that funny and look that damn good in a goddamn suit back then? Especially the texture hair you had back then.
well, you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you already know it's gonna be sad.
Indeed, it's gonna be sad. Like that old sad, like what is it? Sad, sad day, like Muddy Waters just think about.
Mm.
Good times, good times. But it's like people just like when was the last time people were like really honest with one another about what they think about a situation? When we talk about maybe you're this, maybe you're that, and they're just looking at everything surface level, not looking in depth and on this shit.
Probably been a long while. Probably been a long while.
Very long while. So what you been doing in the meantime? Hey, bro, the underrated darkness. Salute, brother. How you
Yeah,
been?
rated. How you been, man, brother, man? I've been maintaining, man. Just maintaining. Trying. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. You know. YouTube doing them being
Yeah.
supporters.
Me, as you can see with my avatar, I've actually been in mourning. I lost my dad about a little over a couple weeks ago.
Lost
Passed
your
away
dad.
and everything. Yeah, my dad passed away a couple weeks, a little over 2 weeks ago.
Oh man, my condolences, man. Shit, my condolences.
I was, truth be told, all things considered, he died the best way possible. He passed away in his sleep peacefully, in his own bed, in his own house.
That's how
So,
every man should.
70,
That's how every man should wish to go, man.
And me,
Did you?
thankfully, I'm just thankful that he taught me
Was he?
better. I would, huh?
Was he
What's your
back in
question?
the old country? Was he back in the old country?
Hey, yeah, he's been there back in the old country for a long time. But,
I think
so it was just
my condolences,
my
man. That's
mom. Yeah. Oh no, because he died. He lived to see 70. First of all, my mom, 65. It was like she was saddened by it, but she was also relieved in a certain way. She lived through, because given the circumstances and everything. So, me personally, I couldn't call home. I had to wait about a week because in accordance with our tradition and given how chaotic the human possession is, I had to wait a week to call home. But once I got a chance to hear her voice, she was just relieved that I was doing okay. Because my dad and everybody prepared me for that. Like, I made peace with the fact that when he goes, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna mourn for it. I'm just gonna be celebrating his life. Because that man lived a long life. He was impactful on a lot of people, and I carry that legacy on with me as in my siblings. But Pop, rest easy. I know you're doing okay right now, up in the promised land with all the lost folks I know. So, my grandmother passed like 4 months prior. She lived to 95, and they just lived a full life.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that I just hope I live to live a long life, a healthy one with no complications.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want it. Charles, you talked about having, you're dealing with diabetes and everything. I'm sure you're maintaining it as best as possible.
Pretty good. Pretty well.
And I know too many boomers who were diagnosed with that, like into their 40s and such. So I know it's not to mess around with, but that's what, like that, high blood pressure and everything. Trying to stay in good shape, see the doctor as often as possible. And people have to also remember, once a year you got to go see the urologist. You got to see your urologist, man. Just like how women have to go see the OBGYN, you got to see your urologist/andrologist.
You got to take care of yourself, man, because a lot of times as black men, it's like the video BGS put on his Black Gnostic. John Henryism is over. You should not work for the sake of just working and just beat yourself into a damn hole and dig a hole just for you to die in. No, take care of yourself. What's up, Kev?
Kev, you go. Hey, Kev, what's good,
Hey,
man?
what's going on, good officer? See, you're talking about my Megan Good post on my community tab, and I was actually out in the yard doing some things, touching grass and shit. Like they say we're not doing. Like all we
Yeah,
do is sit in front of our laptops and smartphones and shit, you know. But
Yeah, pretty much.
but yeah,
that's
there
what
there
it
was
is. But you know what, Kev? I'm sorry to interrupt
yeah.
you, Kev. You remember the
What up,
comedian
man?
T.K. Kirkland?
Oh yeah.
He says,
Oh yeah.
you know what's the best thing? He says, you know what's the best thing he likes to do in his free time?
What's up?
Is being in his backyard, using his his leaf blower, while sipping some coffee in his bathroom robe. He
Yeah,
said those
yeah,
simple
yeah.
things, you're taking care of your guards and enjoying your shit. That's
Oh
how it
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah,
He earned
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it gives me a sense of peace, knocking down blades of grass and stuff, but
Oh,
in
yeah.
weeds. But yeah, yeah, Faulkner, yeah, them guys was on some major cap. Is like all I did was post a picture, where, Megan Good was looking good.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, these guys come out of nowhere. No, she ran through. Oh, she's not that great. I'm like, bruh, it's a picture. It's a
Like, really.
picture. And how many? I mean, how many of those dudes themselves? I know that's their opinion, but I mean, Megan Good is quality. When she got in front of these guys and said, "Hey, what's up?" Most of them guys would change their minds. Period.
Yeah, they would
Exactly.
for
Exactly.
themselves.
Yep.
They
Exactly.
would
Yeah, like you
rule.
said, regardless of how you feel about her, I mean, yeah, she's she still does look great for her age, you know. Same thing goes with
Hmm.
like Alicia Keys or Kelly Rowland or Bria Miles and whatnot. They all look great for their age. So
I mean, and that goes
Rhea
back into
Miles. Who else? Who else?
that goes back into what I said about black men are not used to quality. These are the same niggas that would go on BGS when he's doing a play-by-play of Stephco, and they be like, "Stephco, fine, she's about a 7."
What? Wait, 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 wait,
yeah,
wait, wait, wait. Are we talking about dudes who might need prescription and they don't just need prescription glasses. They also need prescription windshields when they drive, prescription goggles when they're welding,
Man,
uh,
they need
prescription magnifying glass for their computers and everything.
these niggas are so fucked up. They need prescription air. Okay, like
Prescription eye contact lenses while they're at it.
prescription air, really?
they need
Oh my
prescription.
god,
Like,
prescription air.
My
they
my
need
my
fucking
thing
air.
is my thing is, despite how you may feel about them, just enjoy their beauty, man. I mean, shoot, this don't don't
Yeah.
let this don't let these whole gender differences alter your thinking. You know, is it this for me is not a war. It's not a war at all. It's just, I guess I don't know because I'm Gen X. If it looks good, I'm gonna say it looks good. I mean, shoot, I like posting beautiful women sometimes. I mean, damn, it doesn't have to be a debate. I
Mhm.
don't care what happened with her husband. I mean, shit, dude just wasn't the right dude for her. And she's picking up Jonathan Majors right now, a guy who was falsely accused. You know, just like black men are often falsely accused. So, like, even with that, why not give her credit for that? She could have been like the rest of the bitter sisterhood online and looked at the fact that, oh, he dated a white woman, he dated a white woman. No, uh, no, she took a beautiful picture. And she was looking great. Why? I don't. I mean, I'm heterosexual, so maybe I just think. I mean, I'm not saying that those guys aren't. I just see it differently. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. Whatever.
You gotta give, you gotta give, you gotta give women their due, man. You gotta give. I think a lot of brothers try to act like they have these standards. And I'm like, dude, we seen what you were with. We seen what you been skeeting around with. And a lot of brothers don't even know what a classical woman is because they've been dealing with trashy ass bitches for so long that it stunted their growth of looking what beauty is. Like, god damn. I looked at that picture, I was like, that's a bad bitch, boy. I
Listen,
knew she
listen.
was
Hell
bad since
yeah.
she was by you. And god
Yep,
damn, she's only like a couple of months older than me.
yep,
Less than a year.
yep. Well, hey, listen. All I gotta say
I
for you,
mean,
Charles, is that when it comes to that making a good pick, you can't say that I need prescription glasses or prescription air because I'm like, yeah, that was a great looking picture there. So I'm like, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what the hell these guys are talking about. It's like, man, I'm like, we must be living in like an alternative universe, man, because we're not looking at the same person. I'm not saying everybody has to like everybody, but I mean, again,
Yeah.
you look at somebody like a Megan Good or Bria Miles or like Alicia Keys or Kelly Rowland. I mean, despite the fact they're older, I mean, your eyes will work and be like, oh, okay, yeah, they look great. They look great overall and they look great for their age. So I mean, I don't know what these guys are
Yeah. And and,
yapping on
and
about, talk about some she ain't that cute. I'm like, and then these are the same guys who try to say that. And listen, I'm not the most handsome man. I need to drop a bunch of weight myself, but you trying to say somebody like Steph Curry is a beauty queen. I'm like, bruh. I mean, really? Are you sure about that? That's all I gotta say. Are you sure
Like,
about that?
that's what gets me is like, you can't complain about the same remnants that the women are doing the same shit in. But these are the same bitches who will come out and say, and I mean, you talking about a bitch built like Gigantor. I know I look good.
ooh.
To who? You look like that you about to go for the grand championship of the sumo. Like, come on, man. Like
Oh,
you
nobody
got
needs to see her with. You don't want her wearing that Miwashi. That's that diaper thing. It's called Milwaukee.
Oh yeah,
You don't
you
want to see
got
her wearing that shit.
you got like bitches like Kim Harriet, like Kimberly Williams, whatever fucking Kim from Fort Harriet, complaining about she's not getting the kind of men that she wants because she's a perpetual four. I'm like, ugh,
Mm,
I mean, like,
yeah.
it's sad. You can't even enjoy looking at a beautiful woman, but niggas will look at a bitch that look like a '80s pro wrestler in the face.
To my Hulk Hogan's female
Ooh.
counterpart
Yeah,
looking.
bitch look
Actually,
like,
more like World Nakano because with the ugly ass teeth and shit and the hair all.
oh wow, this shit, Bull Nakano. I mean, well, I would be like some of these
Yeah.
chicks they niggas with. They look like the AWA championship edition of Rick Martel. Like shit. Like bitch ain't looking all that great.
Man, man,
Rich
like
looking
that.
more like
Like also, welcome to the Superdome,
or
brother.
y'all who remembers Bastion Booger back in the '90s?
Oh yeah, them bitches, boy. A Philly 7. Philly 7 is a 4 overall.
Wait a minute, wait.
Damn,
Philly 7.
I've
Shit, I
been
got
to
I got to ask my cousin to tell me about that shit.
I've been to Philly too, and man, y'all. There's certain sections that have beautiful women, but god damn, man, god damn.
Which part of Philly were you in?
Oh, the black
Remember
one.
the neighborhood? Which neighborhood? North side, south side? Which side? You talking?
I forget which neighborhood it is, but it was predominantly black.
Hey, yeah, let me say this because I got to get back up. I got to get back out in the yard, but I just came up here for a couple minutes because Officer Faulkner was courteous enough to invite me, so I really appreciate that. If okay, everybody talks about Bria Miles having a white boyfriend and how she's a bed wench or whatever. If Bria Miles broke up with her white zaddy or whatever tomorrow, there'll be black dudes willing to forgive her lined up around the corner to be next in line. Like,
Exactly.
Oh
like,
yeah.
like, yeah, dudes, stop the cap. Like seriously. But yeah, that's all I got for right now. Thanks to the good officer. Woo! And long live the habitual line steppers. Yeah. I'll see y'all on the flip
And may
side
they,
sometimes.
woo, and may they keep
All right.
stepping.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Here's a woman I think about. Who's a woman we should consider? Who remembers what's her face? She played Tasha in Insecure. Hello.
Yeah. I remember Tasha from Insecure. Yeah,
Tasha from Insecure. Okay.
yeah.
Minus the nipple piercings. Smash or pass?
I gotta take a picture. I gotta look at her again. Shit. Probably smash. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, she's an attractive woman. She's attractive. Although in real life she did have a baby with the guy who played Dro in the show. Y'all remember that? But
Hmm.
I mean, she's alright. She's alright.
I mean, you got Kelly.
But compare her to. Go ahead.
You got Kelly Rowland, who's 42. Melissa Ford, 40.
Oh, Kelly.
You got Bernice Burgos, who's 43. Hmm. I mean, hey, Bria's what, 39? I'm like, hey, you keep a bitch in the gym. And I gotta go back to, what pains me about black women, and I mean this sorely pains me. Them motherfuckers are
Right?
undefeated. Them motherfuckers are undefeated when they hit a gym regularly. You're undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
You're like Terrence Crawford. You're undisputed.
Oh, stop calling it. Undisputed. Hey, who remembers when everybody was acting cool when Jermaine Dupri got with James Jackson.
Yeah, it's called money.
Because I remember, I remember saying this with my when I was at a friend of mine's place, at a friend of mine's house, well, dad's house. But we were watching it was a Janet Jackson video, and in the end, she's walking through the street. In the end, she ends up meeting up with JD in the video. And we were talking, and I just looked at it and said, you know what, you can clown this motherfucker all you want, but at the end of the day, you got to go home to whoever you got to go home to. This brother goes home to her. And Chris Rock was serious, was right about what he said about that relationship. Like, that's like finding out Bentleys are selling cars for $1 the day before. You can be like, I could have had a chance. I could have had a chance. Oh man, it is what it is. But hey,
It's. I'm looking at my
Danny
damn.
Green for Mango.
I'm looking at my damn Instagram, and there's a video going viral of a 13-year-old boy performing a drag routine for adults, which is sparking Corso outrage. What? Why would you allow your 13-year-old to go on stage and commit this type of shit and sexualize himself? God, man, the world we live in makes no fucking
Wait,
sense.
was he being sexual?
He's
Oh
stripping
my
and
god.
spitting and twerking.
Oh,
Yeah, man,
the hell?
that's just disgusting, man. Like, holy shit, that is
That
disgusting, man. That's
is
fucked up.
what the
That's
hell?
a form of child abuse.
I take it away.
What? He's on top of a stage. You got
Mm-hmm.
adults in the fucking. It looks like a nice size arena or whatever because it's a high up stage. And I mean, he's dancing like he's doing something that you would see at a Beyonce concert. I'm sorry, this is sick. It's one thing if
I
you're
remember was it like?
it's one thing if you're an
No, go ahead.
adult. It's one thing
Mm-hmm.
if you're an adult and you chose to do this shit for yourself, but you're a child. You're 13. Your balls basically just dropped.
Wait a minute. Here's a question that needs to be asked. Since he's underage, where is his legal guardians? Because if he was going to be on stage, they would have had to co-sign for that. So we got to ask the parents: are you sure were you okay with this? Did you think this was a good idea?
And then he's wearing something that looks like a pair of shorts or a skirt doing splits. And he has braids in his hair, like, like those micro braids you see women wearing.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, you got DJs and people on stage. God knows this, man. For all of you who are parents of young kids, man, protect your kids at all costs, man. See, this is the point I talk about the LGBT. If you're really about family first, why the fuck aren't you about protecting children?
That's a question that needs to be asked. There are certain segments in that community and they have to address it themselves sometimes. But I'm sure there are those who are about families and who probably condemn this stuff. But at the same time, like I said, did the parents co-sign this shit?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying it's right. If they co-signed this stuff, if there was discussions held at the time and they knew the child would be safe and everything, and if the kid genuinely wanted to do this, that is something that needs to be talked about. Because sometimes you gotta say, where were the adults?
Number one, when you have a child, the number one duty of a parent is to protect the child from itself. You may want to do something, but guess what? Let's say this child wants to grow up to be straight, right?
Yeah.
One day he's like, fuck all this, this was a phase, I want to be straight. And this video resurfaces.
and the question is, what if the boy was like, yeah, I was like that, and if he owned up to it, you could, take the bullets out. What's the question?
But how many people are like that?
Very few.
And here's
Oh,
the.
by the way, peace out, Big Kev.
No, I see, kid.
Yeah, he's got to get back in the gym. He's got to get on that squat rack soon. Yeah, you were saying?
Oh yeah, remember what Shane Vicious said? That's nothing. Years ago, there were 12-year-old boys making a rap video about blowing eggplants. After that,
Oh, I remember that. I'm in the comedy store in my yard that we talked about that. And who remembers? I remember there was this video that went viral, but it was taken out of context. It was about some boy who was like pre-PPS who was twerking, and it turned out it was a clip from a pride parade in Brazil. My question was, why was that? Where was the child's parents at the time, and was it the child's mother, most likely, who was one of the people videotaping him twerking? But then again, Brazilian samba being what it is, some people hate dance sometimes. Maybe it could have been like that, but I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, let's look for it as it is. Let's scrutinize this thing out there.
I'm looking at it like this. Once
Mm-hmm.
that boy becomes 18, you do what the fuck you please.
Absolutely. Well, in some cases, it's 16 or
13,
17.
13, no. No, way
No.
too young. Like, you're barely in puberty at that moment. No.
He doesn't even have taste buds. He doesn't even have taste buds.
And then you got to look at some of the sick ass parents we got out here. The sick ass parents.
You've ever seen the reality shows on TLC? Like, what is it? Tots and Tiaras? Mothers who put their kids through beauty pageants since they were babies? I mean, you got to ask yourself, what are parents thinking? I understand you want to be open-minded, but you've got to be realistic with it and understand that, no, I'm not okay with it. As far as this burlesque thing, the burlesque thing is, the people who were at that show,
yeah.
I'm sure that some of the performers there, I'm sure they promised they were sleeping on the kid, maybe something like that. Protect your kid. You're not just going to let your kid out like that.
Yeah,
And plus, the kid had, like I said, they had to co-sign. So he had to get written permission just to be there. I mean, Charles, when you went to Russell overseas in junior championship, your father had to co-sign, didn't he? So you could travel with the team.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
So did my mother.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I forgot to read. I didn't get you out, Mom. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. Both had to sign off. And I mean, here's my complaint. People may say, well, you shouldn't be that hard, The parents may be support. No. You got it. As a parent, I got to make decisions that's going to shape that boy's life for the next 20 years.
Absolutely.
He's not going to see how this shit can affect him. See, why don't gay people actually come out and tell the truth about being gay or lesbian? That's not easy shit to deal with.
Especially not in America.
No.
I mean, you guys are pretty, the whole sex and sexuality. There's still a lot of hang-ups.
There's a lot of fucking
Here there is, but there's a lot of cultural conservatism that's beyond there.
it's still a rather even though it's a liberal country, there's a lot of conservative feelings about a lot of certain shit. Okay, we're barely
Understandably.
we're not even totally over racism. Okay,
Oh,
we're not in Jim Crow, but we're not over that shit like people think or portray that we are. Okay, and then we want
you
to
know
talk.
what? Let me piggyback on that, if I may, just a moment.
Go ahead.
The what was it, Union of the Black, no, State of the Black Union address that Tavis Smiley you said would have, the 2008 version where there was in New Orleans. The late Dick Gregory said it best. He said about America, we are embracing. Said America basically doesn't have a mama. They get a conscience, and because of that, instead of they either realize they got to stink, but instead of taking a bath, they put on a new suit, and then they have the nerve to look around, and say who's stinking when it's actually them.
Yeah. You gotta realize that we're in the sun, and I can't tell if the child's white or light skinned.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's what, but I'm guessing he's light skinned because I see a like a real black audience or at least stage members, and I'm like, there has to be a limit to this shit. There really has to be.
Was this actually taken into the states?
Hmm?
Was this clip taken in shot in the states? Was this performance in the U.S. You think, or it could have been someplace else?
I think it's in the states.
Yeah, that's where you're gonna have to wonder. Okay, what's going on in here? Is this where it is with it? Because sometimes you know how people sometimes take things out of context. Sometimes you gotta authenticate certain things. We gotta scrutinize the hell out of this shit. You know what I'm saying? We can't take everything at face value. But but at the end of the day, what you're saying is absolutely accurate, Charles.
Yeah.
We have, as a father yourself, it's gonna strike a nerve. I get it.
I mean, at some point, it's gonna be fierce competition.
Mm.
It's gonna be fierce competition, and it's getting that way as we're looking at the media, especially when you go to channels like Dr. T, Green Gorilla, PBS, and even Dr. Neil.
Mm-hmm.
When they're talking about events that's live in your living color, and you're gonna see competition. Are these men and women gonna be paying for his psychological test? The emotions hit. That's also man.
I mean, what do you say when you look at somebody and you realize they're not completely all there? I
Oh
mean,
no.
you got veterans with all kinds of messed up issues. Even on their worst day, they're a lot more coherent. I mean, some people, you know, you got to ask, why is this person the way they are? It's not enough to ask what, you also got to ask how and why. That's why I always want to scrutinize people, try to look at the past and figure out why they are the way they are. So as far as us, forcing some of this shit, like you're saying, like, you got to ask yourself, okay, where is this going? What's the end game? And what does my gut tell me about this? I see what I see. I see beforehand, but also what does my gut tell me about this? Never ignore your gut feeling, folks, your instinctual drive. Because sometimes you gotta go. Sometimes what you see could be deceiving you. You have to, and you gotta go instinctual on certain shit. You know. So yeah, thinking about this, you know,
I'll tell you what.
thankfully I'm not on Instagram. I'll tell you what, I'm thankful I'm not on Instagram. You know, my mental health being what it is, Facebook being kind of addictive. I'm glad I'm not on Instagram. Social media is just a cesspool when you think about it, especially now with Twitter. Now we've done with X.
I
What are they
mean,
trying to tell us when they call when you know with what's his face rebranding it as X? I
hey,
mean,
that's something they got.
you don't want to end up like Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys 2 when you actually took the e-pills. Remember?
Tell you, man, it's so.
I remember was it like they had when they found out he took the X and that they had him take a cold shower and shit. 'Cause, your body heats up on that shit.
Uh,
I mean, here's a question people need to ask. How many parents teach their kids the importance of learning first aid or learning how to how to call emergency numbers in case of a situation?
that's a big thing. I mean, you got a lot of this shit going on, and unfortunately, it's gonna be it's gonna be disastrous. I might start a live stream tonight unless Art New Style do one. But let me get out of here, take care of some business real quick. I'm gonna hit y'all back.
Not cool.
Hey.
Ooh yeah.
Woo.